Over the last 12 months, I spent over $165,000 on Facebook ads advertising our Pooper Scooper business. And in this video, I'm going to go over the results, some of my top takeaways, and give you guys some tips and tricks to help you run better Facebook ads for your own dog waste removal service. Let's get into it. For those who don't know, my name is William. I'm the president of a multi-million-dollar Pooper Scooper business in the Pacific Northwest and the founder of the Poop Scoop Millionaire community on School. And over the last handful of years, I've spent millions of dollars on advertising my portfolio home service companies and hundreds of thousands of dollars advertising our Pooper Scooper business on Facebook. And there's been a lot of things that have changed over the years and a lot of lessons, and a lot of takeaways that I'm going to share with you guys in this video. And probably one of the biggest changes that we had is our entire Facebook ad strategy got flipped on its head last year. We used to run engagement ads. We used to send people right to Facebook Messenger. We signed up our first 1,000+ clients that way. And that strategy completely stopped working, and we had to totally flip the script last year. So I'm going to go over kind of some of the results that we had from totally changing our strategy to now sending people to the website, getting them to sign up, building out custom conversions, and let you know exactly how that turned out for us. Let's get into it. All right, so to get started, I'm going to go over the results of the last 12 months of advertising on Facebook for our Pooper Scooper business, Swoop Scoop. And kind of as I mentioned before, we had to change our entire strategy. We used to run engagement style campaigns where we would run customers directly to Facebook Messenger, quote them right on Messenger, and we signed up our first 1,000 or so recurring customers with that strategy. But as of last year, that no longer works. We had to filter through 100+ leads just to get one client to sign up, and that just was not scalable. So we switched our strategy to running all our traffic to our website, having people fill out our sweep and go onboarding funnel, and we're able to track that as a true conversion, pass that data back to Facebook through a custom conversion. And that just seems to be working a lot better. If you do want a step-by-step exactly how we set that up now, we do have a full guide in the Poop Scoop Millionaire community. I'll put a link down in the description if you want to check that out. So anyways, here's the numbers from last year. As you can see, we spent $165,000 between two locations. We have a location in Seattle as well as in Spokane. Both of those markets operate a little bit differently. So Spokane was actually our first location, and it has been around for I think 5 years now, versus Seattle is only about 2.5 years. So I'll go ahead and start with that one. And as you can see here, this is our referral sources, and I just have social media clicked here so that you guys can see it a little bit better. But probably the first thing you'll notice is just how seasonal these Facebook ads are. Going into Q1, things get crazy busy, January, February, and March. And especially in this location, we have snow, and it melted off in March this year, and that's when we saw the bulk of our signups. So great channel. You can hit things when it's hot. You're going to be able to get a lot of customers really quickly, but it does die off for us anyways over the summer months, almost to the point where it's not even worth running Facebook ads in those summer months. Kind of the numbers just from Spokane, we signed up 347 clients. We spent about $76,000. So our customer acquisition cost was right around $221 per customer. Looking at Seattle, this market's a little bit less established. We signed up 296 customers, and our customer acquisition cost was $299.65 over the course of the year. But you can see kind of the same story. This location doesn't get snow, but the worse the weather is, December, January, February, typically the bigger uptick we have in customer signups, and kind of the same story here over the summer months. It's not really even worth us running a lot of Facebook ads. So a couple things I do want to make note of, and number one is that the more money you spend on Facebook ads, the less efficient your ads will be at scale. So if we average this out, it turns out that we were spending around $450 a day if we spent money throughout the whole year on average. And that's kind of getting to the point where your ads become less efficient. But if you want to get more customers, you just have to push that volume up. So if you're only spending $20, $30, $40, $50 a day on your Facebook ads, there's a good chance your customer acquisition costs can be even lower. The other thing that I want to point out is that these are just the hard sign-up costs. People that actually went in, they clicked into our funnel and they signed up with our Facebook ads. This doesn't account for all the other benefits that running these ads bring. One of that being you get more Google searches, and the second is you get a lot more prospects going through your marketing funnel. So if you have a remarketing system through text messages or emails, or you have sales reps, it's going to feed that funnel and ultimately get you more customers overall, and you're going to have a lower blended customer acquisition score. And while I got all these reports pulled up, I'm going to pull up our Google ads too, because that's probably the next most talked about marketing channel. And honestly, Google ads for us is a better channel than Facebook ads, even though we get more customers from Facebook ads. It's going to be more consistent. It's something that gets us customers every single month, not just during the busy months. And our cost per acquisition is actually substantially less. Our blended customer acquisition cost is about $256 on Facebook compared to $137 here on Google. And we still signed up nearly 500 customers through Google over the last 12 months at a much lower cost. So just something to think about. Typically, if you're getting into advertising, I like to start with Google Ads, just try to max it out based on how much search volume there is. And that's kind of the big downside, is there just isn't enough search volume to fill a full pipeline if you're wanting to get hundreds of customers a month. And that's really the main reason we go into Facebook ads. But if you do have a smaller budget, I typically recommend starting with Google ads. We do have a service where we can help run your Google ads with our in-house marketing team if that's something you're interested in. If you want to get right into Facebook, we got the full courses in Poop Scoop Millionaire. And then we also have a great ads manager within Poop Scoop Millionaire that you can hire as well if you want to run Facebook ads. But if you're looking at it, I'll typically, based on our results especially, typically recommend starting with Google and then moving budget into Facebook afterwards. All right, so now I'm going to talk about a couple tips and tricks to help make your Facebook advertising work even better. And probably the most important thing is going to be the actual campaign type that you choose to run. So right now I see there's two campaign types that are working fairly well, and that's going to be lead campaigns as well as sales campaigns. So one thing that is great about Facebook is if you don't have a website or you don't have one that's well optimized and doesn't work really well, you can actually run lead campaigns directly on Facebook. You can just have people fill out a form and collect their contact information, and then you can set up an automation, you can call them, you can text them, and you can quote the customers that way and ultimately get them signed up. So this works really great if you have a smaller budget and if you don't have a website that performs very well. Other campaign that works well is the sales campaign. So if you have Sweep and Go or you have some other kind of online quote tool on your website, this is going to be very powerful. So you can set up custom conversions. So anytime anybody fills out that quote form, they enter their credit card and they make a purchase, quote unquote, you can track that as an actual conversion, pass that information back to Facebook, and it will continually optimize its ads to become more and more efficient. So highly recommend you set this up. For us, this works great because at scale, it's a lot harder to follow up on those leads, follow up on the lead forms. When things just plug right into our CRM, it makes it a lot easier when we're processing hundreds and hundreds of new customers on our busy months. Other tip is going to be around creative. Typically, I found that the top performing ads are with actual team members, real life people out in the wild. So if you have wrap trucks, getting pictures with your team standing in front of wrap trucks is going to work great. If you don't have wrap trucks, I would say at minimum, you're going to want to go out and get actual uniforms for your company, get a couple yard signs, take pictures with your uniforms, take pictures with your yard signs, take pictures with you and a dog. Those types of images are going to work substantially better than anything else that we have ran. Another quick tip for you guys, I get asked this quite a bit, but should I run video or should I run static images? And honestly, for us, just running static images has worked better. I think the cost per impression is a little bit cheaper, and just kind of with the nature of the business, I think that is why that tends to work better. Or maybe I just suck at video. Either can be true. But those are kind of some quick tips with creative. And then as far as your ad copy goes, it's going to be really important to actually call out the customer that you are looking to go for in your text of your copy. So saying dog owners in Spokane, dog owners in Seattle, really calling out that customer, trying to grab their attention with your ad copy is going to be critical. Making sure you have a good offer, whether that's a free cleanup, $20 off, anything like that. Highly recommend that you have an offer. I mean, honestly, if you're running Facebook ads without an offer nowadays, you're probably going to be wasting a lot of money. So make sure you have a strong offer. And then make sure you have a call to action. Get quote on our website, fill out this form, whatever action you want them to take. You want to make sure you're explicitly telling the customer to do that. Otherwise, you are going to be wasting a lot of money, and I'm sure not a lot of people like wasting money. Hope you guys found that helpful. If you're looking for more in-depth guides on how to actually run these Facebook ads, make sure to check out the Poop Scoop Millionaire. I'll put the link down in the description. If you want to see how we acquired over 500 customers last year through Google advertising, paid ads, and SEO, make sure you check out this other video. I'm going to walk you through it step by step. All right, hope you guys have a great day and happy scooping.